Test, 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 test. 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 Test, 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 test. Yes. Okay, so good evening, everybody. It seems that it's precisely 7 o'clock here in Europe, in Central Europe. So we will be kickstarting our first webinar held by Swie.io, courtesy of Insights at Swie.io. First of all, hello everybody. My name is Radu, so I'll be your host for tonight. And well, let's kick off. I have prepared a couple of slides, but anyhow, feel free to interrupt me at any time through the Q&A that you should find somewhere on the left of your screen. Unfortunately for tonight, we cannot have the webinar as interactive as we would have wanted due to some technical difficulties, but we try to sort it out, so please ask any questions at any time through the Q&A part on the left of your screen. So let's kick off the webinar. I will start sharing a small presentation I prepared. Okay, so Demystifying Industry 4.0. What is Industry 4.0 and what's all the buzz around Industry 4.0? So I prepared this small webinar together with my colleague Federico, and before jumping into the webinar, just maybe some brief words about Swie. So Swie is an Industry 4.0 company that is building the world's largest distributed manufacturing network. We basically work with electronics manufacturers. We retrofit them. They use our Industry 4.0 technology along the production line, and we basically bring them to the 21st century, and they are part of this distributed network. And the goal of it is to push all the advantages that come from this to our customers. So our customers get electronics products faster, cheaper, and with Swiss quality. So our agenda for tonight, will start off slowly by talking a bit about the history of industrial revolutions. Yes. So then. Just a second to see if everything is okay. Okay. Yes. So the agenda is that we'll start with the history of industrial revolutions. Then we will look together at the trends towards Industry 4.0. Drivers and enablers of the fourth industrial revolution, the challenges that companies face while adopting Industry 4.0, and of course we will present a brief roadmap for implementation. Let me just quickly, instead of I will share my entire screen. It may be better. Yes, now it should be better. Okay, so after all the technical glitches are gone, let's move forward. So let's start with the history of industrial revolutions. So in 1784, it took place that what was called and what remained in history as the first industrial revolution. Mainly people are starting using mechanical power to produce stuff. This is from let's say from movement of water and from movement of steam, and we all know what economical developments this brought, and how it helped people connect by using trains and eventually produce physical products. The second industrial revolution, even though some people attribute it to Henry Ford, it actually took place a bit earlier, in 1870, when in one slaughterhouse in Cincinnati, they introduced production lines. This led to mass production, and this second industrial revolution was fueled by the electrical energy, right? And then, of course, Henry Ford came with mass production that basically made it available to, let's say, the public. The third industrial revolution took place in the 70s with the first PLC, programmable logic controller. This introduced basically automation in electronic systems, and reduced the amount of manual labor. Between the 70s and today, of course, some developments happen, and maybe depending on the school of thought, some people attribute somewhere in the 90s. They say that it was Industry 3.5. That was mainly, let's say, mass customization. So basically, what Dell was doing, where you could order a laptop and make it your own with some predefined components. However, let's say that the big industrial revolution is taking place right now, where you have the cyber, let's say the innovation is the cyber physical systems. It's basically a set of algorithms controlling a wide area of sensors and of products. And while the third industrial revolution focused a lot on hardware automation, this fourth industrial revolution focuses a lot on software and on big data, and how we can use that big data to serve our customers better. So what were the trends that led to Industry 4.0? So the trends mainly come from the customer side, right? One first important thing is the choice. It's the fact that customers do not want mass-produced goods anymore. They want individualized products. So when Henry Ford started producing the famous Model T, he said that his customers have a wide variety of choice for the color of the car, all black. So that's not the case anymore. Customers want hyper customized products. As I was saying, mass customization was a first step, and Dell was one of the leaders in this domain with all the customizing and with all the revolutions in the supply chain. But that's not necessarily designed to order. That was more of a configure to order approach. If we were to make a comparison to cars, of course, and to colors of the cars, it would mean that customers would want their own shade of blue, not to choose between several shades of blue, but to design their own shade of blue. And that is one of the trends that is leading towards Industry 4.0. Consumption is another trend. So software is allowing the transition from product to service. If we are sticking with the car example, the car is the product, but what a company is actually selling is the mobility service. And with this change in mindset, and this helps us serve our customers in various creative ways. Of course, experience, and this is connected to hyper customization. People are not necessarily buying a product; they are buying an experience. They are not buying a car; they are buying the experience of driving from point A to point B. They are buying the agility of moving. And ownership, this is very well connected to experience. People are not necessarily tied to physical products anymore. They are tied to the ecosystem that is around it. So the mind shift has changed. The drivers and the enablers. So there are three main drivers of Industry 4.0 as identified by literature. The first one is digital and integrated processes in the company. So these are vertical integrated and horizontal integrated products. What's vertical integrated products? This means that Industry 4.0 is not only about manufacturing. It's about integrating everything from product development to purchasing to manufacturing and then to logistics. Only by having this holistic view of the enterprise, Industry 4.0 can actually deliver benefits to your customers. The second driver is the digital product and service offerings. Again, as I was saying before with the trends, you don't necessarily sell a product, you sell an ecosystem around it. You need to, and companies need to offer various services around that product so that they can delight and they can delight their customers. And and the third driver is the digital business model where companies need to optimize customer interaction and access, and to offer them a complete solution, an end-to-end solution. And the enablers of this are, of course, if we think about manufacturing, one key aspect of Industry 4.0 is the smart operator. And if you look at the Industry 4.0 and what's happening right now, everything is very much people-centric. We talk about the customers, we talk about the people that use our products and services, and we should think in the same way to the people that work inside our company. So the smart operator means that instead of somebody being on the shop floor and waiting for a signal to light up so that they can go to a machine and see the trouble, they can be enhanced with, for example, with augmented reality glasses. They can monitor cycle time in real time. They can see what's the problem and what's the solution before reaching the machine. This saves time, and this saves quality in the end. Smart product. The product needs to gather the data with him. So having a way to store data inside the product that you are manufacturing is one enabler of Industry 4.0, because then you can see what happened. You have full traceability of the product. You have full traceability of any errors and problems that appear during manufacturing. Then, of course, smart machines, machines that produce and that sit along the production line. They need to gather data. They need to report data upstream, and that leads to the smart planner. There is a centralized unit that allocates resources based on the global strategy of the company. So this global strategy means enhancing the product portfolio, so having more product, and reducing, of course, cycle time and improving quality. And that's the role of the smart planner. But what are the challenges in actually adopting Industry 4.0? So from various let's say surveys in the industry, one key aspect is the lack of digital culture and skill inside the company. So as I was saying earlier, everything revolves around people. As long as inside a company there is not a digital culture, it will be very hard to implement Industry 4.0 standards in manufacturing, because Industry 4.0 promotes a holistic view of the enterprise. It's about gathering data. It's about gathering data from manufacturing. It's about gathering data from clients, seeing what clients need, what kind of product. And as long as those skills are not inside of the company, that implementing Industry 4.0, it's quite a big challenge. Then another problem is big data versus smart data. With all the technology that exists right now, you can collect all the data that you want. You can put sensors everywhere, but this doesn't mean that it's smart data. Companies and the institutions that want to implement Industry 4.0 need to be very careful about the data that they collect, because it can produce a lot of noise, and real patterns and real problems can be hidden by the noise around them. Data accuracy and real-time availability of data, it's actually another problem that connects with the previous one, because once you have too much data, then the accuracy of it becomes a problem, and decisions become harder and harder to take. The last two also connected are machine communication. Usually factories and manufacturing facilities have legacy equipment installed. Most likely, so we work in the electronics industry, so we are seeing this problem pretty much every day. Factories use the same equipment that they used, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. Making those machines communicate with each other, that everybody, like each machine has a different vendor, each machine has a different software revision, that's a huge problem. And that's just in electronics. Pretty much all industries have the same problem. And why this is a challenge? It's because most likely, since Industry 4.0 is something new and there are not a lot of use cases, people are reluctant of investing in Industry 4.0, because most of the times it means that they would need to change all their equipment, and that's actually something that we are working on intensively, helping the factories and providing them with a solution that is completely retrofittable. So given the fact that we discussed the drivers, the enablers, and the potential challenges that some companies might have while implementing Industry 4.0, let's look a bit at let's say a very high level roadmap for implementation. So if you truly want to implement Industry 4.0 standards and Industry 4.0 mentality inside your company, the first step is to actually build up a strategy. You will need to evaluate where are the areas that you can implement this, prioritize, because your resources are limited. You have to start somewhere, and most importantly, align. Everybody from the company needs to be aligned and needs to know that this is a top priority for the company, because otherwise you won't be able to serve your customers anymore. Well, you won't be able to serve the customers as you would like. Then the second step is to design and to run a pilot project. You need to scope it. You need to prove the concept, and most importantly, you need to bring outside experts. But whether if it's academia, and we as a company, for example, we have a very good experience with working with academia, or bringing startups that have new ideas that can bring let's say some fresh air inside the company. I think personally, I think that's one of the most important things, to bring outside experts. Then define the capabilities that you need. You need to know what is missing. After you've run the first pilot, you will have a global overview and you will see. And again, people are the core of Industry 4.0. People are the key. They hold all the skills that you will need. And recruiting the right people to fill in the gaps would bring you a tremendous advantage. Further on, you need to master data analytics. You need to assemble teams that are cross-functional in the way that they are able to exchange information and to find creative solutions. And also, you need to be able to extract value out of the data. And it comes back to what I said earlier. Think about big data versus smart data. Think about what you need to correct right now. You need to think big. You need to think of the global picture, but you need to act small. You need to act and see, okay, how is this corporate goal, or this I don't know, whatever we have in mind, going to streamline to our shop floor? What do we need to to collect in terms of data here at this working station? And of course, finally, think about the ecosystem. Think about providing a complete solution for your customer, an end-to-end solution. So that's the end of my presentation. So I wish to thank you very much for your attention, and I will stop sharing my screen and get some questions. So if there are any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Unfortunately, I cannot speak with you directly, even though that was the original plan. But we promise that in our next Insights webinar, you will have that possibility to interact and to ask questions directly. Okay, so no questions? Come on, there has to be a question. Okay, so let's take the first question. So Davide Giordano, hi Davide, is asking us if we implemented pilot projects with local companies. So we are in the process of implementing the first pilots with a local company from China. Well, it's a PCB assembly company from China, and that's one huge source of learning for us. And that's why I was stressing a lot that there need to be pilot projects, because those help both us and our clients learn more about the needs and about how Industry 4.0 is and what's it all about. So Jesus is asking us, okay, so for instance, how does the Industry 4.0 affect the PCB manufacturing / assembly? Any example you can share with us? Yes, so that's a very straightforward example. For example, when an assembly company produces or assembles PCBs, right? Their ideal scenario would be to produce the same project in, I don't know, millions of batches, right? That in millions of pieces that will fill their capacity for the whole month. With Industry 4.0 and with our solution, they are able to produce a mix of products as if, or close to, as if they were producing the same product over and over again, right? So we bring the, I would say we bring the large scale advantage to, I mean, we and Industry 4.0 brings the large scale advantage to low volume. So that's one example of an application of Industry 4.0 in the PCB assembly industry. By the way, if anything is not clear or you would like a bit more details, feel free to contact me afterwards. We can even schedule a one-on-one call. We can go into details into any specific topic or anything that you would like to get a bit more details on. I would be happy to support you and to help you afterwards as well. So any other questions? We will also, I forgot to mention, we will also send the presentation to all the people that subscribed to this event. So you have there my email. You can send me an email, and then we can chat if needed. And also, if you happen to be in London on Thursday, we can chat live, as I will be speaking at the Hardware Pioneers in London. So if you're around London next Thursday, come have a beer. So any other questions? Come on, guys, don't be shy. Okay, so we have another question from Davide Giordano. Thanks so much, Davide, by the way. So do you also take in consideration technologies like 3D printing or virtual and augmented reality for Industry 4.0? Okay. So I will start with virtual and augmented reality. That is what I would say a very important aspect, and it connects with, if you remember from the presentation, with the smart operator. It's basically enhancing and introducing people from the factory into the manufacturing, and it's basically an easier way of getting information to them. The first step is to probably have, I don't know, wearables that transmit information about specific alarms and alerts along the production line, but most definitely the end goal is to have augmented reality feeding data directly into the operators. 3D printing, of course, it's another key aspect of Industry 4.0, as it shortens some cycles, right? So for example, in plastic manufacturing and in all the stuff, and of course it's easier to prototype, and it's easier to produce it and to manufacture it. Okay, so another also great, thanks about Jesus. So for many startups, PCB manufacturing and assembly processes are just services that they outsource. How does Industry 4.0 affect the startups? Yes, so if you think about it, manufacturing has zero value for a startup or for a company in the end. Manufacturing, its ultimate goal is to reproduce what engineers have designed. So if anything, manufacturing subtracts value from the product, because you've designed something, you know how that product should act, but somehow due to manufacturing problems, it doesn't act like this. And then you run into all the supply chain issues and everything. So currently, manufacturing, I would say that it subtracts value from the product. With Industry 4.0, it will be just a translation of what the engineers designed into a product without subtracting value and without adding steps, without startups or makers or engineers having to waste their time to set up or to set up supply chains and everything. And I think that's kind of the beauty of Industry 4.0, because it simplifies everything. It simplifies everything from a user perspective. You will be able to order your PCBs and your assembled PCBs in a quantity of one, right? To test your hypothesis faster. If you think about the product development lifecycle with Industry 4.0, you will be able to iterate much faster. And you will be able to test your hypothesis, whether there are technical hypotheses or marketing hypotheses or sales hypotheses. You will be able to test them much faster. And you will be able to reach a pre-sales, let's say, a pre-sales status faster and further on. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so do we have any other questions from the audience? Okay, so if there aren't any other questions, I want to thank you very much for listening to us. It's been a pleasure having you invited into this webinar. It was the first. We plan to have many more, and we will probably soon announce the topic of our next webinar. Yes, sorry. So I'm taking a question from Federico. Yes. So there should, in essence, be less Kickstarter failures. Yes, in essence, with Industry 4.0, in the end, there shouldn't be any Kickstarter, because if you are able to produce your products in small quantities, then you would just do pre-sales, and Kickstarter as it is will just act as a marketing platform, right? Where you are able to advertise your product and generate pre-sales instead of crowdfunding for manufacturing, right? So that's kind of how we at Swie see it going, see the future of manufacturing. Okay, so again, we are very sorry for all the technical glitches that we had during this first webinar. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. It was again a pleasure presenting this in front of you. If you have any questions or any other things that you would like to discuss, please send me an email. The address is Radu, R-A-D-U, @Swie.io. Please send me an email and we can have a chat. If you are in London this week on Thursday, please feel free to drop at the Hardware Pioneers, and then we can chat more. And of course, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and make sure to be updated with the latest news from Insights. So again, thank you very much, and I wish you all a pleasant evening. Bye bye.